can see clear and now the rain is gone. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Sean Marie. Okay. All right. Let's get our visual aids. Hello. Oh, so precious. Hi. Rain is gone. I can see your obstacle in my way. Hello. 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 Long time no talk. Welcome back. Let's chat. Hello.
Top of the morning. How are you today?
Amazing. How are you?
I'm well. I come seeking some advice today. I saw you went live and I wanted to jump on before it got too hectic with trolls and stuff. I have a general question. Okay, so we talked last time and stuff. I don't know if you remember we like followed each other and stuff. I would say like I'm 6'6", I'm fit, attractive, etc., etc. I've run into a problem, okay? I now want to get out of the pocket of like hooking up with everybody that I meet. I'm trying to get to like the point where I get to a long-term relationship and I'm like, what am I doing wrong that's putting me with people? Like again, I'm not judging anyone, I'm partaking, but like with people who are looking for like hookups or like that one time versus like trying to target somebody who maybe wants something more.
So where are you meeting people who just want something one time?
Usually I go out to like bars and clubs and then also like dating apps like Hinge a lot.
Right. Let's kind of switch angles here. And let's talk about you in a relationship with somebody. You've been together for years. Imagine yourself in that space. You're beside the person that you've been together for years with. Now, what are the activities that you do together that both of you enjoy and you share? What is something you would go out and do?
I love. I honestly I like physical stuff. So like going outdoors, running, hiking, working out. I dated somebody for 7 years at one point, and we were huge into like hot Pilates, hot yoga, stuff like that.
So, when you go out to a club, you're meeting people looking for a good time. When you go to Pilates, yoga, when you join a hiking group or hit a hiking trail, you're meeting people that share the kind of activities that you like to do that makes your body feel good. See the difference?
Yeah, it's like you're if you went to a sports game and you were looking for a partner, you're solving for people who already like sports. If you're going to the club and looking for a partner, you're solving for people who like partying.
Yes. Yeah. So, what do you think about instead of looking to settle down by looking for somebody on a dating app or in a club? How about you go, I'm looking to settle down. Let me find somebody who shares the same kind of lifestyle that I do. Let me find somebody who would accompany me to things I like to do that make my body fit and healthy.
Honestly, that's something I need to look in the mirror about and be like, do I even am I'm smart enough to know, do I even want to be settled down if I'm looking for my wife at the club? Like,
That's a good question. Here's the thing. we have a culture that says this is what you do, just go ahead and do it, and it's removing critical thinking. Like, I almost had a baby because my culture said you get the job, you get the car, you get the house, you get the husband, then you make the baby. And then fortunately for me, my first husband said, hey, wait a second, not now, not for a while, maybe not ever, showing me that I had the option for myself. So it really does take some time sometimes, because it took me a full year of sitting with the question, do I want a baby? And I did a full year of not just questioning myself, but also doing the research. What was the cost, the actual physical cost? And also in research, asking every parent I met, what's the best part? What's the worst part about being a parent? So maybe you want to ask yourself, what will be the cost to me if I get into a relationship, and how can I mitigate that so that it's not a cost? For example, some people think getting in a relationship means you give up your individuality, you give up your freedom. Now your partner gets to tell you where you go and what you wear. That's a high cost if you don't want to give up your individuality. So then you ask yourself, how do I avoid that cost? The answer is choosing a partner that does not seek to remove your individuality. The answer is seeking a partner that wants a peer-peer relationship, not parent-child, the kind of partner that gives you the same kind of relationship your best friend does. They don't say, how dare you go out without telling me where you're going first, right?
That makes so much sense. I guess like I don't want to hold you up too long. I have one last
Just say, my
question.
love. Take your time. I'm here for
Um,
this.
do you have any like writing not projects, I guess, but like my a colloquialism I use is do your homework. Do you have any homework like as far as like writing assignments go or okay. The perfect. I'm gonna screenshot it. Is it on Amazon? Like you can buy the ebook and stuff?
You can get the ebook online. It'll be $10. I might even have this bundle with somebody. Not sure right now. You can check my website for the ebook. See if there's an ebook bundle. Or I think you can get this from my website, and it'll be about the same price you get from Amazon.
Oh,
Um,
heck yeah.
there are writing assignments in here because I coach you in every single one of my books. I'm coaching you to get to the level you want to get to. And that includes self-reflection. That includes understanding who you are. That includes doing a writing exercise where you're writing down who you're looking for and then comparing who you are to that to see if there's any mismatches. Because my number one rule is it's not fair to ask for anything you're not willing to do first.
Like from the standpoint of like you're coming into the place with a hypocritical nature if you're asking people to dress a certain way and then you don't acquiesce to their desires, maybe.
Yes, if you say to yourself, I want to be in a relationship with somebody who lets me say to them, you're going to go out with that? No, you got to get changed before you go out because I don't like what you're wearing. But you yourself are going to argue with somebody who tries to tell you where you can go, what you can wear, and who you can talk to.
That makes a lot of sense. I'm not gonna lie. In the past, I may have been hypocritical. At times, I think when I was most hypocritical, it probably came from a place of insecurity.
Hmm. It always does, my love.
I guess like personally, yeah. If I were to be like times when I've been like, "Hey, don't talk to that person," it wasn't necessarily like anything other than I'm like seeing this person as a threat. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah, it's an interesting little sidebar. I get, these red pill guys coming here going blah, 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 high value men. And I ask them, is a high value man afraid of other males? Like they'll come here saying a high value man looks for a woman with a low body count. And then I say, does a high value man have fear of other males? What do you think your answer to that would be?
As I've found more success and grown older and arguably became more attractive than like my teenage years, I've moved further and further away from caring what other guys are doing. To
Not
be
the question, my love. Come back to the question. Do you think a high value male is afraid of other males?
no, no, that's I guess that's what I was trying to say. Like maybe I
Right.
wasn't answering it directly, but
Yes.
um, essentially, like yeah, as I've aged, my opinion on that changed to be like probably not like less and less. You know?
Well, if you're not afraid of other males, You don't ask a woman what her body count is as though you need to think about who she was with before you. Because if you're not afraid of other males, you tell yourself, I don't care who she had before me, I'm better. I'm not afraid of who she had before me. I'm better, the better communicator, the better lover, harder working, more responsible, able to offer her more, meet her at her level.
I agree 100%. I think the body count debate is, I think the reason why it's such like large topic, specifically like with the red pill people, just is because it's controversial, and they know that somebody will, whether they feel strongly one way or another, they'll be drawn towards the debate.
Mm-hmm.
From my perspective, it's not something that I really consider at all at this point, to be completely honest.
Right. Yeah, because you're confidently standing in the present, not insecure about the past.
Percent. But if you would have asked me when I was 21, I would have answered very differently. I'm 28 now, and I literally don't think about it at all. I'm actually much happier not thinking about it. It's
Well,
kind of weird to spend all your time, in my opinion. Now, everybody has their own opinion. I think they're welcome to it. But if you spend all your time fixating on who your partner has been with in the past, I don't know if that's the
I
best thing for your mental health or anything.
No, it's not good for your mental health. It's not good to spin about things that are in your imagination because they're not currently happening. Because what this does is it gives you negative emotions that you're now vomiting into the present. So let's say you and I were in a relationship and I asked you what your body count is and you told me your sexual history and I'm an insecure person. All I'm doing is thinking about who you were kissing. I'm imagining you kissing them, having sex with them, touching them. And I'm spinning over these thoughts, my imagination, having retroactive jealousy, putting myself in a bad mood that you have to suffer. And that's not fair. That is dysfunctional.
I have another thought slash question.
Mhm.
I guess this goes into the body count thing too. This almost travels into like all aspects of life. Like when you don't solve for environment, then you don't really have like any information. So if you say like, oh, this person slept with two people, but their environment was X, and then this person slept with 20 people and their environment was Y, like if you spend too much time focusing on the number, not the environment, it doesn't even, the number doesn't even matter if the environment isn't solved for, essentially, is what I'm trying to say.
Yes, because listen, we see a lot of people coming here with an obviously low body count, spewing a lot of toxicity and dysfunction. They're not fit for a relationship despite their low body count, showing us it's never about the number. It's always about the person standing in front of us and who they are, not who they did or did not do before us.
Agree 100%. I'm like reading the chat at the
Yeah.
same time. Some of them, I mean, I would love to hear what some of them like have to say. I didn't want to stay up here and debate, but I'm kind of curious, like if any of them who say like it matters, I'm curious to see like what from what standpoint and like how old are you? You know what I mean? Because I think those are two super
Okay.
interesting questions. You know,
Let's see if any of them are brave enough to come and chat with us. Let's see if there's a request that comes in. Let's see if somebody has some courage instead of words hiding behind anonymity.
I'm kind of with Lil Miss K. I don't know that there's any correlation between
There's
like
no
I see
correlation.
people saying that it matters. Okay, and
No
that's how you
correlation.
feel. Why though? That's my question.
There is no correlation, and I'll point out the fact that there are plenty of women who come from purity culture, religious indoctrination, in other words, marrying religiously indoctrinated males who cheated on them after having sex for the first time after marriage because they just feel entitled. They are abusive. They're not good people. Religion or purity does not make you a good person. In fact, research has shown that it makes you a worse person. I've never seen more abuse than in a religious culture. I've never seen more alcoholism and drug abuse and child abuse than in a religious culture of purity.
Really speak to those cultures. I haven't been a part of it. I mean, when I was 16, I didn't live at home with my parents. I lived with my girlfriend and her family. And her parents obviously knew we were physical, but I mean, they were amazing people, and they changed my life really. You know what I mean? I went from being in a shitty situation to being in like multimillionaire's mansion like every day, like having access to the best educational stuff, the best food, everything, you know? And I feel like if they were like some kind of weird religious cult, I for sure would have had a different upbringing.
Kudo, you want to chime in? Hi.
Yeah, no. I mean, I read debates. I just joined in, but usually I'm familiar with this topic. Are you guys, th- like, are you guys friendly here? I mean, like, the guy below me who was talking to you, like, is he on your side? Are you guys arguing, or I mean, debating, or?
We're not arguing. Arguing is a
Yeah,
lack
yeah.
of
Sorry.
acceptance, and
You're right.
you
You're
won't
right.
find that here. We do accept you for who you are. In fact, that's what I teach my people to do, is to understand who you are and accept you and not try to change you in any way, shape, or form.
Uh,
But so I
yeah.
know
I'm
that
not like
the two
Chantel and I aren't like in cahoots or anything. I
no.
do follow her. I think she follows me. Maybe not. I troll a lot, so I post like crazy shit on my TikTok. But yeah, no, I like the conversation she has. I jump in from time to time. I think the last time I came in was like 6 months ago though.
Okay. 100 years ago, body count definitely mattered. Do you think that's wrong? That people saw that and said that, a woman or a man, I guess, shouldn't have had multiple partners or like have done this thing.
So 100 years ago, we had a culture where women were not allowed to own property, have bank accounts, get a job. In fact, the reason why women are so excited about pockets today is because 100 years ago, our clothing didn't have pockets to make it more difficult for us to be able to leave the house and be out for extended periods of time. We'd have to juggle everything in our hands. And in fact, 100 years ago, um, or around that time, but there was no public bathrooms for women because women weren't supposed to be out and about. They're supposed to be in the house and stay there. So 100 years ago, women were seen as
Yeah,
a
yeah, I get it.
commodity.
I
I'm
get it.
still talking. I'm still talking. So women were seen as a commodity, something that was sold off by her father to the next male. So she didn't have a home of her own, money of her own to create her own life. She was given from one male to another. Here you go, from my house to yours. That's why the father walks her down the aisle and hands her over to the next male. So that was 100 years ago, but I'm 53. Do I need to follow those rules?
My question was, was that wrong? And
Was it wrong for women to be a commodity? I'll let the gentleman
no,
underneath you answer that.
no, hold on. Obviously, that's not that what happened here. I mean, that's for what
What do you
were
mean?
the
Are you denying
reasons?
history?
Hold on.
I asked
I
a
mean,
question. You said that's not what happened here. Are you
I'm not
denying
denying
history?
history,
Are you
but I'm also
denying
not
are
denying.
you denying
No,
what women did not have 100 years ago, which meant they did not have individuality, they did not have freedom, they didn't have the ability to look after themselves like they do today. So the reason why body count mattered is because women were a commodity to be sold to the highest bidder. So is that different today? Are we still being sold to the highest bidder, or are women individuals?
let's go previously to what you first said, and then we'll move on. I mean, obviously, this did happen. I'm not denying history, but this did not happen everywhere. What you're saying here is, I think, mainly happened. At what percentage around the world do you think this occurred? And I want to ask, if when you say women weren't allowed to do certain things, can I ask why do you think that is?
Why did women not have bank accounts? Why were women locked out of schools? Why are there
Yeah,
hold
why were
on.
women not allowed to walk in schools?
I'm trying to find the words and I can't when you're talking. Why are there Nobel Peace Prizes that has a male's name on it instead of the female who actually came up with the science and the technology? So why did that happen? Because males have delicate egos and they want to take and they want to steal instead of being able to watch women have their own achievements.
No, I think that that only happened in some places, and not this wasn't everywhere. All right, I mean, this most cultures never had this.
So it seems like you want to ask questions, but you want to deny the reality.
But in which place is this reality? I mean, can you at least name a couple? So
Why? Like, this is 2025. I don't know why you're being so redundant when us women are not redundant. Us women are standing in the present moving forward. And I think that's the problem you're having is that we're not focusing on the past because we can't change anything in the past, but we're very focused on the present and how the present is going to evolve into our future.
okay, but I mean, I was look. I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm saying, I mean, my main question was when women or men before saw this as a bad thing, the body count. Before, when society said that was wrong, do you think that's wrong for them to say that?
Can I jump in real quick? I don't have a actual necessarily an answer for you. This is just something that I think of a lot when I look at the past, whether you're looking at slavery or something else, like how people handled animals, etc. It's hard to like look back and then be like, oh, they were wrong or something, or they were right because it was at a different moment in time. So it's like to discuss that, you could have that discussion, whether it was right or wrong, but how relevant that to this conversation? Because we're talking about two
Because
complete.
what if no, but what if this changes again? Yeah, but then would you say it's wrong for it to change again?
Is anything wrong or right ever? It's just
Yes, if you have
something that's
a
going. So
yeah,
then what drives your moral compass, I guess? Are you religious or
yeah,
like what?
I am religious.
Okay, so then it would be wrong or right due to the scripture of your religion, right? But if somebody else didn't believe in the same religion as you, would they be morally wrong or right? What if they believed in a different God that had a different
But
scripture?
I never bring religion into this.
But I'm saying if you get your moral compass from religion, then how would you have a conversation with someone about morals and have a different religion than you?
Because I want to see their point of view.
Okay, that's fair.
So my point of view when it comes to
Do you think that if somebody's point of view is different than yours?
my point of view when it comes to morality is it is morally bankrupt to attempt to remove someone's bodily autonomy. I'm not doing this to males in any way, shape, or form. I find it morally bankrupt to see males attempting to reduce my autonomy.
Okay. And I also want to ask, uh, let's say, does a does a male does a male's history matter as well? Let's say,
Not more than who he is, my love. Who you did is certainly not more important to me than who you are. Because when I'm picking somebody to stay in my life, in other words, a long-term partner, in other words, my inner circle, I'm not asking who they did. I'm looking at who they are. And if who they are is missing what I need in my inner circle, then they just won't be in my inner circle. And that's the metric that I use. My metric is above the belly button. It's who you are, not below the belly button, who you did.
yeah, but what if I'm just gonna bring up a very weird example. Like, let's say he did something to kids, but now he's a completely different person.
I'm
Then
not looking for somebody who's attracted to children. I didn't
no,
write
but
that
he
on my
changed. He
I
changed.
didn't write that on my list. Do you see my list? I didn't
So
write
his history matters.
I didn't do you understand how to see? I didn't write attracted to children, so that's not my type.
Can I have a question?
Sure.
So I really don't know, but what is the body count? I see, especially Americans talking about this, but I have no clue what is it.
Okay, my love. Males, do you want to answer?
Body count is like slang in America for how many people you've had sexual intercourse with in your lifetime.
Oh, okay. Wait a minute. Why Sean Martin T is saying he's currently a pedo? What the fuck? What did I do wrong? I just now started talking. What the fuck?
Oh, the guy before you asked a weird question, or I don't know.
Yeah, and
Let's just
like
stay on track, can we please?
Yeah. I think that I think that that question I kind of agree with her. Like, I mean, if somebody was a murderer before, you're probably not looking to marry a murderer, right? So they're just disqualified off the bat.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
like
the person
I
changed
didn't
though.
write I didn't write cannot control their physical impulses. I didn't write violently mentally ill. I didn't write anger issues.
But are you listening to me? I said this guy changed. He served his time, whatever. He's a
I understand
completely
that.
yeah.
So
So why does it matter what he did?
I didn't write violently angry. I didn't write mentally ill. I didn't write attracted to children.
He's not.
So why don't
He did a
instead of
mistake.
focusing
Okay, so people can't change.
instead of focusing on what we don't want, we women, instead of you focusing on what women don't want as a weird angle, how about you focus on what women do want? We do want somebody who stands confidently in our present. We do want somebody who is responsible and confident and
Why do you keep
hardworking
showing that list,
and
bro? I get it.
honest and trustworthy. You seem to be lacking focus when you're looking at women, and it seems to be because you're so busy looking at yourself.
What kind of manipulation kind of thing is going on here, bro? I asked a
All you
simple
brought up
question.
is what women don't want.
Can you understand why someone would be puzzled when you're like, this person committed a sexual crime? Now, does that make it okay? Like, you can grow as a
No,
person,
isn't it?
right?
Yeah,
From being
but that's why we
immature,
have
right? And being maybe like
jails.
disrespectful. But I don't know if like that's a chemical imbalance in your brain, dude. Going to jail and serving your time doesn't fix that. That's something that's forever wrong with you.
Okay, then
So maybe like if you used a different example that was like even
okay.
slightly
I'm sorry.
reasonable.
Maybe I don't want to offend anyone when I say this. I'm gonna bring up this example. Maybe this is wrong. Correct me. Let's say gay people. They are born gay, right?
Wait. You're saying so? Wait, someone's sexual predatorial history is way different than just having a high body count. You guys are talking about two
No.
different
I'm not.
things for
I'm not saying
one.
that.
No,
I'm
you
not saying
guys
that.
you guys are talking about two different things. You're bringing up someone's sexual predatorial history and comparing it to a high or low body count. You're talking about two separate things, and being gay has nothing to do with a high or low body count. It has nothing
Let me
to
let.
do.
But,
Sexual
yeah, but
preference has
did you
nothing
listen?
to
Okay,
do with
maybe
a
if you
high or
listen to the
low
whole
body count.
conversation, you'd know why we got here.
I've been here for a
Yeah.
while
Well,
listening, and I come and listen to Chantel all the time. But what you are comparing two different things right now.
let me make a list of my own, man. I think I got to show you a better way to listen. You know, I think.
So, by the way, when you're making your list, you define yourself. That's how you know what you deserve, because it's not fair to ask for anything you're not willing to do first. So, don't put anything on your list that you are not, okay?
Okay.
So, for example, don't put open minded, that doesn't belong on your list. Don't put understanding, that doesn't belong on your list. Don't put good communication skills, that doesn't belong on your list.
Let me just make my point and tell me if I'm wrong or not. Let's say gay people, they're born gay, and they just suddenly change. They want to be. They are attracted to their opposite gender. Is that not? Do we not accept him? Do we still tell him that no, you're gay?
Well, I can grab the mic on this one. My ex-girlfriend had been a lesbian her entire life until we dated, and she liked me, and I had no problem with it or qualms with it. I didn't question her about her sexuality. Her and I had a great relationship before she dated women. What's wrong with that?
Yeah, sexual preference and sexuality has nothing to do with the body count number.
I was bisexual for a number of years, and I'm no longer bisexual. I have no more desire to be with women. Very happy with my one man. There's nothing wrong with shifting your sexuality, because that is called autonomy.
I was
Yeah,
straight my whole life,
what
and
I'm
then in my
saying is,
30s became bisexual. It
Why
has
do you
nothing
have
to
a
do with body
problem?
count.
Why is it that you seem to continuously have a problem with people's autonomy?
No, no. What I'm saying is, I was trying to bring an analogy to what we spoke about. Like I
There's
said,
nothing
it's
wrong with your
no, no. I know.
sexuality.
I get it. I get it. I agree that there's nothing wrong with that. I totally agree. But what
Yeah.
I'm saying is that the guy who had a bad history, let's say, whatever, man, whatever he did, a very bad history that it's not on your list.
Why is
Let's
it
just,
that you keep
yeah,
talking about that?
So
When
behavioral
because I gotta
history
bring
and sexual
us
history.
us women are right here seeing what is being presented by you males, and we are
okay,
making informed decisions about how to proceed by gathering the data you present individually, because we're not lumping you all in the same boat anymore. We're saying, oh, wait a second, I don't believe if I kiss a frog, it turns into a prince. So let me find out what you are before you get access to me. Notice how all of the words I use are present tense, and you want to move over here, as the women should be ashamed of who they had consensual sex with in the past. This is where you lose out, because women are no longer being bothered by your thoughts about our past. We're simply eliminating you because you're too bothered to be with. Go on, ladies.
but hold on, because I was trying to make my point. I was comparing. I'm not an asshole, man. I'm really trying to be
No.
understanding.
I never called you an asshole. This
You're
is
shoving
women
that
taking
book on the screen.
this.
I mean,
This is women taking accountability for the words coming out of their mouths. This is women no longer choosing partners, being in relationships where they turn to their friends and they say, he's such an asshole, he did it again. Had another insecure moment, vomited into the relationship, his dysfunction, his imagination, again, was dishonest, irresponsible, lazy, selfish, again. Women are no longer staying in relationships where they're complaining about who they're with, instead of how I talk about my husband, which is admiring who they're with because they're so amazing.
okay. So I'm asking, why is it not comparable? A guy who just changed into a better person. Are you saying that's not possible? A guy changing into a better person after what he did?
Again, I keep using present tense and it keeps going over your head somehow.
Yeah, because I'm like so focused on that book, and it's
And
just
it's individuality for a reason. Each individual woman is going to choose who she wants to be with, and she's going to hopefully not sleep with you until she figures out the majority of your personality is the
that's
traits that she's looking for.
If she
And hopefully she's not, I mean, most women are not going to want to sleep with a man that was attracted to children or whatever you said earlier. And most women are not going to pick men that have behavioral problems.
okay.
Most women
Okay.
are going to walk away from those men, and we're going to expect you to not throw tantrums. You're going to have to just change your behavioral,
Okay,
but
then
your
why is it so
behavior.
wrong? Okay, I get it. I get it. I agree. I'm not saying that's wrong. I agree. Okay, and then one point is, why is it so wrong for a man to walk away from a woman who has
There's
a high
nothing
body count?
wrong. You are
Oh,
not
okay.
hurting us.
There's
No,
nothing wrong.
hold on. There's nothing wrong with you walking away from us because you don't like our autonomy. We are fine with that.
But does that make me bad? Because
No, not at all.
that asshole
That's
book.
not what I teach at all.
Okay. I mean, that's all I wanted to.
How we doing, guys?
Hi, guys. What did you want to say?
Just a quick point, really, off the prompt. Body count doesn't matter, and I agree that it shouldn't matter. And I'm only speaking on behalf of males. I agree that it shouldn't matter, but unfortunately, it does to us. And I don't know if it's an ego problem.
That's not unfortunate, Gaz. When you say us, like you and the people you're referring to,
I think.
don't interrupt me.
Sorry.
Don't. I will remove you for disrespecting me because this is my classroom and I am the
I
teacher.
apologize.
You
I'm
refuse to
sorry.
understand that. I'll remove you for lacking understanding skills and any more intelligence in my chat. So we understand that you and the people you're talking about when you say us, So you and your group of people, but you and your group of people are not all the people. There are other groups. So you and your group remove yourself. It leaves us with the group that is unbothered. It leaves us with a group that stands confidently in the present. It leaves us with a group of people that are not failing to meet us where we are at. It leaves us with people with good communication skills, open minds, a desire to understand, and respect for individuality. We are okay when you and the people you call us remove yourself. It's okay, my love.
Okay, so like I say, I totally agree. And the issue is with men, and it is an ego thing. And as sad as it sounds, and I know I sound pathetic even saying this, but it makes the difference, because if I meet a woman who's from a different area perhaps, and she could have a very, very high body count, well, I wouldn't know any different, would I? So therefore that may not make any difference. But I think if you know that person and you know the other people that were involved, being a sad man, I suppose, it bothers you if perhaps you were out in a social environment and you see one or more of these people that have been with your partner previously. I think that creates an issue.
Mm-hmm. But that's not her issue, right?
Exactly, no, 100%. It's not her issue.
Right.
It is purely the issue of the man, and I get that, and I understand, and I can communicate, and it is, like I said, you know, this man's ego, or if it's a confidence thing. I don't know. I can't answer that question.
Well, what should he do about that?
Try to get over it, I suppose, and realize that in reality it doesn't matter, but it does play on one's mind, you know.
How do you think he can get over it?
I don't know if that's possible. I don't know.
I have answers. I'm a coach.
Yeah,
I had to get over it myself, because I understand where it comes from, because that's where my mind was. I understand how to change it because I decided to, because I was suffering my dysfunction.
Yeah.
And so do women feel the same if a woman meets a man and they know that man? Do women have the exact same feeling?
We go through the same thing. Do you want to hear a story?
Yes, okay.
Okay. So I met my husband around 2004, and we committed to a relationship in 2006 after knowing him for over 2 years. After we committed, I asked him what his body count was. I knew him for 2 years without knowing his sexual history. I knew some of it, but I didn't know all of it. Can you mute your microphone while I'm talking so I don't hear background noise? So I didn't know all of his sexual history, but I knew some of his sexual history. I knew about his ex-wife. We committed to a relationship, and I asked him what his body count was, and he said 2 before me. I was number 3. Now you would think that would not put me in a negative tailspin, but it did. It did, and I obsessed about the 2, went into my imagination, saw him physically with the 2 in my head, put myself in bad moods because what I saw in my mind, not in reality, was upsetting to me. I didn't like seeing him kiss someone else, be intimate with someone else, all in my imagination, by the way. And for 10 years, I took that terrible mood that these thoughts had me experiencing, and I vomited them into the relationship with dysfunction, insecurity, fights, arguments, seeking for him to soothe me over what was going on in my head. And after 10 years, my husband was he's done with this. And he literally said to himself, but not out loud to me, I didn't know. He said, 1 more fight and I'm done. Lucky for me, that was about the same time where I said to myself, I need to change and I need to disengage from what I'm doing to him. And I need to turn my focus onto myself and start fixing my imagination. So I stop having these emotions. So I stop being destructive in my relationship. So what did I do? I started meditating because Harvard did a study. They did an MRI scan on people who came in and then meditated for 8 weeks and came back and did a second MRI scan. They saw that the amygdala changed shape. It shrank. That's a part of your brain that produces stress, fear, and anxiety. Well, what was I experiencing when I imagined my husband with another woman in my head, not actually happening in my head? Stress, fear, anxiety. What if they were more interesting? What if he liked that better? What if he moves on from me to someone else? I had those emotions. I needed to reduce those because he wasn't triggering them. I was with my own imagination. I had to build up my confidence because I was so insecure over who he was with before me. I had to ground myself in the present and say, wait a second. He's not choosing them. He's choosing me. He's not in love with them. He's in love with me. This is why. Look at yourself. See who you are and stand strong in the truth of the reality. I had to train myself to get out of the past and step into the present and take responsibility every time my mind switched over. Instead of making him suffer, fix myself. What do you think, Az?
Yeah, I respect you for taking a step back and reevaluating. As I put in the comments, it goes to show that body count is a matter of perception, if you like. So for me, I was expecting you to say, to be in double figures of your ex-partner. It didn't even occur to me that you would feel that way over 2 or 3 partners. So I suppose body count, one person might think that 40 is not a lot, and another person may think that 40 is a huge amount.
Yes, I want to
Yep.
point out, I didn't think 2 was a lot. I was shocked at how low it was, but the eye-opening experience where I spun out over 2 showed me it's never about the number. It's
Yeah.
about the mindset and the mental illness of the person. I was mentally ill by spinning over the past.
Yeah.
It shows that
Can
it's never about
Can I just say thank you very much for having me. I've got to go on the school run now, so I'll be dropping. So thank you.
You're welcome. Anytime, my love. Ripple, hi.
Happy Monday. Welcome back.
I'm back home. I ate so much junk food last night. Well, healthy-ish. Well, I did have A&W. It was kind of healthy-ish fast food, but yeah. I'm back, baby. Chantal, what did you want to say, my love?
I'm done. I was talking earlier. I'm just listening now. I can drop though.
If you like. All good, my lovely. Good morning. Hello. What do I call you, sir?
My name's Keyshawn, but my brand is called Spores, and I don't really do it on TikTok, but I just post random crap on here from my it's just my shitpost page, really.
Mm-hmm.
I'm more Instagram centric, but yeah. But hey, thank you so much for having me and answering my question. I don't want to take a space. I think that was awesome. I actually really appreciated that guy. I thought his mindset was cool, and he was actually asking questions to learn. I thought that was cool, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day.
You too, my love.
Take care.
You too.
Best wishes.
We love open minds, don't we? We love open minds. Get your free book. Yes, James. Are you having any problem accessing? Can you go back into the link in my bio and go grab it? Hello. Guys, there's some freebies for you in the link in my bio. Free book, free starter guides. Hello.
I believe that body count matters, but it doesn't. Hear me out.
Mhm.
It's like a sandwich. You'd feel a lot better knowing 50 people hadn't fucked it.
Enjoy going and fucking mayonnaise sandwiches, my boy. That was a weird kink to express on here, but if you like to stick it in subs, what's your favorite? Drop it in the chat. You like the mayonnaise and roast beef? Does that feel good to you, or tomato?
Mhm. Yeah. So this is what we call an objectophile. These are people who've been so rejected by people that now they turn to things. And so they will let you know where they kind of started turning to. Some of them have turned to sandwiches. Some of them have turned to vehicles, lubing up that car seat, that couch cushion, right? Socks, that nice old go-to. Yeah. Stuffed animals.
Proof, ladies. And not that we needed more proof, but it doesn't matter what you wear. It doesn't matter what you wear. They'll literally fuck sandwiches.
Yeah. It doesn't matter what you wear, my loves. Watermelon. Hello, acceptance.
What's good?
Hi. What's good? What is good? Meditation is amazing.
Alright. Alright.
Did you have a question?
Does body count?
Sorry, I got bored. Try to request again. He was taking so long, I've just spaced out there.
Maybe Zach. Hello, Zach.
Hi, Chantal, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
How are you?
I'm amazing, my love.
I'm amazing too. So just to start off, my English is not my first language, so excuse me if I made some mistakes. I just saw your live and it says body count doesn't matter. I was quite shocked because where I'm from, it does matter. So I just wanted to ask you, why do you think it doesn't matter?
So it's not why I think, it's why I know, and I'm very specific with my words. So, if I've never been in a grocery store, I might stand outside and go, I think the store has my favorite brand of cereal, but I'll see when I get inside, right? So I think is I'm not sure, but we'll see. I know means I already know that store has my favorite cereal. I will go in confidently, grab it, check out, and go home with my favorite cereal. So there's a big difference between think and know. Okay, Zach?
Yep.
So I know body count does not matter because I know who I did in the past is not who I am as I stand here defining myself. So I know that my self-definition is not based on the self-definition of others. My self-definition is based on who I am, not who I had sex with. I know that. Do you understand?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Also, my second question would be, you said that it's a manipulation and control tactic.
Yes.
Why?
So in order to help you understand that, I like to do what I call a thought exercise. This is where I ask you a series of rapid fire questions. I ask you a very short question. You give me a fast yes or no answer. The most logical one is your yes or no. The faster you give an answer, the faster I move on to the next question. And in this way, we quickly go through the questions. And at the end of it, I help you understand how it's manipulation and control. Would you like to do that?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Purple, did you want to say something?
When
Okay, so
voice texting.
okay. First question, somebody asking my body count is asking how many people I had sex with in the past before they met me, yes or no?
Yes.
And they're asking because they have a number in their head where my answer in relation to the number will give them a negative thought or experience towards me if my number is higher than the number that's comfortably sitting in their mind. And their emotion thought towards me will be positive if my number is lower than the number they have in their mind. Would you agree?
Yes.
Okay. Would you agree that the human animal is designed to seek pleasure and avoid pain?
I disagree.
The human animal, so the way that we are designed. So let's put it this way. You don't think that the way we're designed is to take our hand away from a hot stove, and you don't think our design is to lean in with more interest when somebody makes us laugh. You disagree with that.
Yes.
You disagree. So you think we keep our hand on the hot stove and we don't like people who make us laugh, is what you're saying.
Yes.
Weird. Which part of humanity do you live in?
Do I have to answer?
I'm sorry. This is strange for me to
Oh, okay.
come across somebody who comes from a culture of people who keep their hand on hot stoves and don't like it when people make them laugh. I'm wondering what culture you come from.
So, just coming back on what you said before
I'm
about.
asking a yes or no question.
Oh, okay. Okay.
You agree that the human animal by design seeks pleasure and avoid pains.
Seeks pleasure and avoid pain. Yes. Sorry. Yeah.
We do seek pleasure, we do avoid pain. That is our
Yeah.
design. Okay. So now the next question is the person asking what someone's body count is that person seeking to hear a high number that would make them uncomfortable? Hi.
Yes.
You think they want to hear that the woman says she has a high body count instead of you think they want to hear that the woman has a low body count?
Oh, sorry. It's the opposite. They prefer to hear that she has a lower body count.
So they prefer the positive experience instead of the negative experience.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Okay. So as you understand now, with these questions, we are designed to seek pleasure and avoid pain. The person asking what my body count is knows they will be uncomfortable if they hear a higher number. Now, instead of them saying to themselves, I get triggered into a negative emotion when I hear a higher number, let me deal with my triggers. Let me take responsibility for the emotions I have when I imagine. Now, understand that imagination is what you're thinking about that's not currently happening, right? That's imagination. If I sit here in New York City and I imagine a beach, I'm not currently standing on a beach, right?
Yes.
So this person who's in their imagination over her body count, having a negative emotion, says to himself, I'm going to ask women what their body count is and hope to hear a lower number. So what I'm going to do is attempt to manipulate women into reducing their sexuality before they meet me. So when I ask them what their number is, I hear the lower number. Instead of me dealing with my triggers, perhaps getting some therapy over my imagination and emotions and taking responsibility for myself, so that I'm no longer bothered by my own imagination because I took responsibility for my thoughts, my emotions, and instead of choosing behaviors that are manipulative, like telling women they have to reduce their consensual sexual history, even though they might learn something about themselves in the course of that consensual sexual history. No, we don't want them to learn about themselves. We just want them to say no. So when I talk to her, she has said enough no's for me to be comfortable.
Okay. Okay, I understand when you're saying that it's a manipulation and control tactic. So yes, I have a question. When men wants, sorry, if a woman has a higher body count, do you think she might have a problem with health, for example, the MSTs and something like that? Maybe someone, if he say he doesn't want to have someone that has a higher body count because he's scared of if she got any health issue about it.
Well, let me ask you this. Is it possible that somebody could sleep with one person one time and catch an STD?
Yes, it's possible.
So if I ask somebody what their body count is, do I know if they have an STD?
If they have a higher body count, it's a higher possibility.
Sorry, I made a mistake with my question.
Yes.
If I ask somebody what their body count is and they say 1, do I know? Remember how I used the right words? Know
Yes.
instead of think. If I ask them what their body count is and they say 1, do I know if they have an STD?
Sorry, can you repeat that again?
If I ask somebody what their body count is and they say 1, do I know if they have an STD? Yes or no?
No.
No, because I didn't ask for testing, right?
Yes.
That's how you find out if somebody has an STD, not by asking their number. You have to ask for testing. So, of course, we should be wary. We should be conscientious that somebody could have an STD. So, we should be asking for testing,
Okay. All right.
right? And listen, when we have a casual encounter, we should be safe. When we have a long-term selection to make, we should be safe, right?
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
also
And
going to add,
yes.
thank you. I was just going to add that, Zach, I want to reiterate this for you that high body count does not mean a higher risk of STDs. Unsafe sex equals higher risk of STDs.
And
Okay.
that's why it's important to ask for testing, because it doesn't matter what they say. Somebody could stand in front of you and say, I've never had sex with anybody. Still ask for STD testing. Don't take what they say at face value. Somebody might say, I've always had safe sex. It doesn't matter. You still ask for the test results.
Okay. Yeah, it's very interesting to what you said because it's totally different to where I'm from. So I was kind of curious, and I also say thank you for accepting my demand, and yeah, I really appreciate the experience.
Anytime, my love. Anytime. I'm always here.
I wish you all the best and have a good day.
You too, lovely. That was great. Wonderful, Zach. Wonderful. We enjoyed you, Zach.
Tal, do you have your other phone with you? Will you please, for the love of everything holy, look up the word notoriety for me? Because this guy keeps saying this comment, and I don't know if he's using this in the way that he thinks.
Okay. Notoriety. The state of being famous or well known for some bad quality or deed.
Okay, so he just thinks that sex is bad. Got it. Okay, I just needed to understand better what
Yeah,
he was trying to say.
if he demonizes women's consensual sex, if he demonizes women having sex, he's not going to be good in bed, right? You understand that? This should not be somebody you take on.
No, I won't.
I know you won't.
What's good?
Welcome back.
What's good, Red Bull? What's good? What's good? Yeah. Mm. You wanna continue?
Yep, you go ahead. Whatever question or whatever you wanted to say before.
Okay. Well, since if the woman has high body counts,
We can't hear you when you're off the app. There you go. You're back. So try that again.
yeah, I really don't mind if the woman has high body count, but what is she gonna do with that high body counts with me? Because I wanna, a woman, to be married with, right? Family. I don't really care. As long as she uses her power in a good way to benefit me as well. For me, I don't have high body counts. I only have one. So if she can teach me, right, we can learn in bed. If she's willing to and use her power for good, right? With great power come with great responsibility. I feel like she should use it to help me
Yeah,
learn because I only have one body count. But I
sure. But
wanna.
there's two parts to that, and I'm not saying you're not saying this. You just haven't mentioned it yet, maybe. there's one where she is willing to teach you, right? But the other aspect of that is you being willing to learn and actually put it into practice for her satisfaction.
Yeah, of course, of course, of
Okay.
course.
Yeah, that sounds perfect. Yeah. I mean, experience doesn't equal skill, and lack of experience doesn't mean that you're not good at something. So, yeah, I don't see
Yeah,
a problem with that.
it's just it's because I want one woman, right? Like that in love and take care of my woman. That's me, right? Just simple as guy. You know what I'm saying? So
Sure.
And
yeah.
that's my husband. And he's
Oh.
never had a problem because he had two. I was number three. And I certainly did show him experiences that he never had before.
Oh.
And he welcomed that with an open mind and an open spirit. And he tried different things with me. And that was really fun and really great. And I like that in our 20 years of our relationship, our sexuality has evolved over time. It was very adventurous and now it's very calm and tame.
I
And
got.
we've done this together. We've gone through these changes together.
Mhm,
He never had a problem with
mhm,
me having so much history that I had that much confidence to bring him through other experiences. And
mhm,
so, as long as you can be that way as well, right? As long as you're staying grounded in the present instead of going, oh, you did this with me and you did that with him. I
mhm,
don't like that you also did it with him.
mhm. But one more thing though, I have two things. I don't mind it, right? We all know this. I don't mind it as long as she teaches me because I only have one.
Mhm.
But I don't want her to keep going outside and doing it
You,
with me. I want her. I don't want her to keep doing it. I want her to stop.
you mean you want monogamy, right?
Like one-on-one, like relationship, like
That's
just
what you
emotional.
want.
For me, it's emotional relationship, right? But I feel like it's just like,
Monogamy.
what are you doing? You love me, right? Why you keep doing it over and over like you were
That doesn't
19
sound
years
like
old?
monogamy. You're getting confused. It doesn't sound like you are getting into a relationship in a clear way. With my methodology, we're not confused about who we're picking. We're not getting into a relationship with the assumption this is monogamous and then
Mm.
watching the other person go with other people. Before we even commit to a relationship, we're having the discussion about monogamy. And if you're not aligned with the kind of relationship we want,
Oh.
then we're not going to pick you. And that's what you need to
Oh,
do.
you're talking about natural selection.
So before we pick you, we're going to make sure you are what we are looking for. I wasn't looking for all of this when I was having this. Notice it doesn't say honest, loyal, trustworthy, because when we're in this mode, having experiences and learning about ourselves,
Oh.
don't interrupt. We're not keeping you long enough to care about your honesty. We're just
Mm.
making sure you're safe and you're going to be fun. But when I'm looking for a long-term relationship, I'm going to define what I'm looking for before looking at you. And if you're not what I'm looking for, I just eliminate you. Natural selection.
Okay. So it's basically telling the woman, hey, I want this. If you wanna keep doing this, fine. Boom, I'm gonna go head out and leave. So
Yes.
it's okay. Yeah, okay. If you want, keep doing it, have fun, and keep doing it. It's fine. And I'll just leave. That's it. Cause I don't want that. I don't want that problem. So there's two women in here. The first woman was like, I'm looking for slave, and the second woman was like, are you a guy? Like, what do you mean? Are you looking? You looking for a slave?
I don't
Am I? I'm obviously a
know.
guy.
You have to ask her. Don't ask me what's
Yeah, I'm asking her in general. They can hear me.
yeah. So don't ask me what someone else means when they say something. Ask that person what they mean, because then they can explain themselves better.
Yes, the two women that says that. Explain it in the comment. I'm looking for slave, and the other one's is like, are you a guy? Fuck you mean? Am I a guy? You can obviously hear my
I'm not
voice.
here. Listen, I'm not here to listen to you argue with other people. I'm here to have a discussion with you while you're here. So
Mhm.
you addressing people in the chat is wasting my time.
Mm.
Okay?
Mm.
Hi. So I'm the one that asked if he's a guy, and the reason I did that is because he goes on lives and lies about being transgender.
Okay.
What?
Yeah, don't lie, buddy. You've come on multiple
What
lives
does
saying
that have to do with? What-
All right. So we're gonna move the conversation, away back to the topic. James? Hello? Hello? James, can you hear me?
I was gonna say he's been waiting a while, and now he has red bars, so I'm not sure if he can actually hear us.
Krista! Oh yeah, he teacupped. Teacupped. James, come back when you can. I see Krista, Keiko, Sean Marie, Natalie. No, Natalie, we don't stand for people lying either. I'm just not here for people fighting. We don't fight, we don't argue. There's no reason for chaos. There's no reason to be around people we don't accept. Frank thinks he's going to speak for most women. I have a question for Frank. Frank, can you say yes, just so that I know you and I are talking? Then I'm going to ask you my question. You're welcome, Natalie. It's funny how these males don't actually know what an emotion is. So Frank, my question to you is, how did you manage to talk to most women? Because I find it weird when people present themselves as ambassadors for other people, and you said most women, meaning you're presenting yourself as an ambassador for most women. I need to know how you talk to most women before I call you a liar by using the kind of language that is lying. If you haven't talked to most women, then you are using lying language. So Frank, are you lying when you present yourself as a spokesperson for those people because you never actually spoke to them, Frank? Or how did you speak to most women? How did you do that? Dysfunctional males do not categorize anger as an emotion. And that's why they had difficulty recognizing that I was not enraged. I was simply unwilling to waste my time with somebody who was dishonest, disingenuous, and was not taking reality in front of his eyes into account. I don't bother talking to people who have eyeballs that they're not using. That's a waste of time for me. I need a more intelligent conversation. Empathy for who? That's a lack of empathy? Empathy for who, Sam?
Frank responded to you. He said, "I don't need to talk to every woman to know."
To know what? I don't need to talk to every, let me go find. I don't need to talk to every woman to know what? To know a fact? Well, how do you get a fact without getting a fact, Frank? Let me help you understand the definition of the word fact. Okay, I think you're confused, Frank. I think you don't quite understand things. Fact, A-C-T, right? A fact, a thing that is known or proved to be true. Now, how do you know? How do you know something if you never looked at it? How do you know what a woman is thinking if you never talked to her and asked her thoughts? So you said you don't need to talk to every woman to know her thoughts? That doesn't make any sense, Frank. You're starting to seem nonsensical. Lex, Mr. Lex, my new friend. Hello, Lex. Did you want to come chime in, my love? Who here knows who Lex is? Hands up in the comment section if you are a fan of Mr. Lex, who hosts live streams where he talks to males and invites them to come discuss a wide range of topics that males are having a problem with right now. Frank says, what women give intimacy for a man for no reason. Frank, I'm sorry, but I've lost interest in what you're saying because you're very much lacking logic. You thought that you could speak for people you've never spoken to, and then you thought that you could say what they think without ever talking to them. And you call it a fact that you can speak for people you've never spoken to and speak of what they're thinking. And I just find that very delusional and mentally ill. And when I recognize delusional people that are mentally ill in their language that they're using, trying to convince me of things that are actually impossible, I'm not that stupid that I don't recognize that delusion and that dysfunction. And delusional, dysfunctional people don't keep my interest. I'm more interested in people who are grounded in reality instead of people who make up stories and then try to convince me of their made up delusions.
Why do women have to give you? Women don't owe you a reason for why they want to have consensual sex, other than
No, but women owe you a
they just
rejection.
want to.
Women owe you a rejection for being delusional and dysfunctional. Hi, Dutch.
Hi, how you doing?
Amazing.
Fantastic. Yeah, I believe that body count does matter. I know it doesn't matter for you because you've already told us. I don't care. I don't care about your statistics.
Yes, no.
Did you not know that?
Oh, wait,
Hey,
hold on. You
you,
seem to be quite the yapper. I'm gonna let Dutch go for a second here because I want to point out that somebody. I'll remove you if you unmute your microphone. By the way. So somebody here said 304s. We like numbers too. We love numbers as intelligent women. The number that we don't deal with as an intelligent woman is a -1. A -1 is a male that is so worthless. He's worth less than 0 out of 10. So a -1 says the more males a female has been with, the more she loses value. Value is a numeric value, right? What he's saying is my belief is males have a less than 0 numeric value. If I was a 1 out of 10 and I was with a 0 out of 10, I would not lose my numerical value. There's no value lost. But if I, a 1 out of 10, dealt with a male that was a -1, in other words, worth less than 0, now my value is reduced. So whenever I see a male using numbers, he reminds me that us women don't bother with males that are worth less than 0. We just block and delete them. And that wasn't you, Dutch, I know.
definitely. Are you over-trigger misandrists? Why do you drop
Do you have
people?
something intelligent to say, or did you just come here to center yourself and run your
Oh,
mouth?
shh.
No, you shush,
Why
shush, shush,
you
my
do?
guy.
Why?
No.
All right.
No.
You,
Oh, you're just
I've lost
sexist.
interest. Because he shushed Ripple. I was going to continue having conversation with him, but he thought he was going to control something here. He's not understanding the environment he stepped into. This is called matriarchy. This environment is called matriarchy. And in this environment, males don't control anything. We control our environment and we remove males that are too dysfunctional to reside in our environment because this is called natural selection. Women don't suffer their dysfunction anymore. Women are selecting their mental health, their emotional well-being, their physical safety. And the way they're doing that is they're saying, hey, before I let you into my inner circle, you are outside it first because I'm going to examine you to see if you can be in my inner circle because you're functional enough. You're grounded in reality. You take responsibility for your mental health, your emotional well-being. You pull your own weight. So in this environment, males who think they control women find out very quickly they control nothing. Ladies, hands up. Men, hands up if you enjoy matriarchy. Hands up if you enjoy matriarchy. If you enjoy the more functional environment that matriarchy brings. If you enjoy the benefits that you get from matriarchy, better mental health, better emotional well-being, better physical safety, more recognition, more appreciation, more contribution, more partnership instead of dominance, peer-peer relationships that are healthy. Hi. Shelster, surfing. Hi, Chris. Hank. Love my man, Dondra. Spaghetti, I like it, yes. Kitty Cat, Mare. James, my man, Island Beauty.
Shut up.
Frank is jealous.
He's
Frank is
so
very
jealous.
of women's power. But listen, it doesn't matter how they feel about women's power. Their feelings are not the reason for women to reduce their power. So yes, women can walk on the street anywhere, walk into any club, into any store, and pretty much point to somebody and go, hey, let's have some sex. And that person will likely say yes. It's that easy to have a sexual encounter with a male. It really, truly is. Now, if you're jealous of that, that's not our problem, Frank. That's your negative emotion to deal with. Women are now indifferent to what you think and feel because women are focused on their own thoughts and feelings. So you can have your thoughts and feelings all you want, but we're not thinking about your thoughts and feelings. We are focusing on ourselves. We are focusing on our well-being. We are focusing on our mental health, our goals, our ambitions, our work ethic, and financial responsibility. We are building incredible lives for ourselves.
He's telling us, other than the fact that he's jealous and insecure, Frank, you're telling us that women have all this opportunity. You literally said a woman can just walk in the street and men and get intimacy, and men don't have that privilege. Well, if women are out here in the street just pulling men left and right, then are you jealous because you're not being chosen? You don't have the privilege of intimacy with a woman? That sounds like a personal problem, Frank. Why don't you actually develop some good character and a good
So Jay
personality, and maybe
wants to show us that Bonnie Blue is a brilliant marketing strategist. Yeah, there was a Jay wants to show us that women like Bonnie Blue are brilliant marketing strategists, because what did Bonnie Blue and Lily Phillips do? All they did was put out an APB literally saying, I'm going to use 100 males. I'm going to use 1,000 males. And that number, actually more than that number, lined up to be used for a marketing ploy, a stunt. Those ladies made a lot of money using the boys that lined up to be used for the marketing stunt. And they knew after they used those boys, Jay, they were going to use your mouth, because your mouth, your fingers were going to type, say their names. How many days after they pulled the stunt, Jay? Can somebody write in the chat how many days ago Bonnie Blue pulled that marketing stunt? This is how many days later they're still using his mouth to advertise themselves for free, because they're such brilliant marketing strategists. That stunt is still working. That's what Jay is showing us, that these women are brilliant marketing strategists, making a ton of money, so much money, 171 days. Thank you, Sean Marie. After 171 days, Jay is saying her name because she's that brilliant. She's that effective. Wow. That effective, eh? Look how good she is, Jay. You're showing how effective she is when she sets out to market herself by using males.
man, Frank, I'm sorry. I know, Shanta. I know you're over Frank, but he is cracking me up. Women have inherent value. Yeah, no shit, Sherlock. We're literally the source of all life. Like, we're the source of life. We know that we are born with inherent value. The fuck?
We know you wouldn't exist without us, my love. You wouldn't even exist without our grace of deciding to bring you into this world, because nobody needed to, my love. It's because of a woman's grace that you exist. Hi, YG.
Hello. You like being a slut?
So, ladies, 100% of the males who say body count matters are abusive. Notice the verbal abuse, because the sign above my head said, you never controlled me and you never will. And it triggers abusive males, because abusive males are controlling. They want to control you instead of controlling their abusive tendencies. So this is a wonderful metric for getting rid of abusive males. Body count doesn't matter, no matter how high, no matter how low. But if he thinks it matters, he is an abusive male who will abuse you regardless of your body count. So I host this platform to help you see, ladies, right in front of your eyes, right in your ear holes. You are seeing the toxicity and the dysfunction that comes from males who think body count matters. They're abusive here. They're abusive quickly, because they think they're anonymous. When they're on a date with you, those abusive tendencies will not come out right away. This is why it's important to use my dating strategy. No more assholes, no kissing, no sex, no sleepovers, no exclusivity for minimum 3 months. Means you let them talk so you can identify, is this the abusive one to get rid of before he kisses you, before you fall for him, meaning it's easy to block and delete him.
We're not hiding it. We're just not entertaining this insecurity game with you anymore.
No spending for 3 months. That's right, ladies. Let them show you who they are. Are they generous or not? Are they tit for tat or are they grounded? We need to know what kind of person they are. Are they dysfunctional or functional? Are they controlling or confident? So no spending for 3 months. There you go, ladies. He's letting you know who he is. So let him show you so you can make an informed decision. If he demands you barter your body in order for him to pay for a date, he's not looking for a girlfriend or a relationship. He's looking for inexpensive sex work. So let him go, ladies. I am strong and independent.
Chantal, Antonio's crying about how you're making this about guys and not women, and it goes both ways. Antonio,
Nobody
I
told
don't.
you had to pick somebody you didn't want. Antonio, we're not going to pick who we don't want. Nobody's forcing you to pick who you don't want. You pick whoever you want. You eliminate whoever you want. You block whoever you want. So do we. You don't have a problem with that, right, Antonio? Exactly, my love. I want you to see how 100% of the people who come here saying body count matters are making up stories in their heads. What do we call that? We call that delusional, right? I make up a story and I believe it. No evidence whatsoever, but I'm going to believe the story made up in my head because I'm delusional. We didn't write mentally ill on what we're looking for, right? So make sure you're not occupying his mouth with your kisses. Use my dating methodology. Make sure you let them talk for minimum 3 months. And if they're making up stories in their head, you just block and delete them. Notice how they try to be demeaning, because they don't like it when women say, you never control me, you never will. The demeaning ones. Remember, ladies, when you hold on to your autonomy, you find out what's in front of you. Is he demeaning? Is he abusive? Is he toxic? Is he delusional? So don't occupy their mouths with your kisses, minimum 3 months. Find out how they think. Get rid of the ones that are not a good fit because they're not confidently grounded in the present, assessing you for who you are instead of making up a story in their delusional minds.
Antonio, that's fine if body count matters to you. We're not trying to change your mind, bro. Go care about body count. We don't care.
I want you to understand, Antonio, you're not my student. You're not my demographic. You're not who I'm teaching. I teach women to not pick people that are abusive. I teach women to not pick people that are stuck in their imagination, giving themselves emotions. That's too toxic. That's too dysfunctional. I teach women to not pick people that are controlling because women should be in a peer-peer relationship, not parent-child. So don't come here thinking I'm talking to you down our throats. Look at this. He says down our throats. Jay, I'm going to ask you a question. I want you to say yes so that I know you and I are talking. Just say yes, and then I'll ask you the question. Okay, Jay? Okay, so Jay said, I'm going to read, I don't want to paraphrase. Jay says, and forcing it down our throats. Forcing it indicates I somehow went to go get you. I grabbed you, brought you here and sat you down and said, you must listen to me. So Jay, how did I do that? How did I force you here to force this down your throat? How did I do that to you? Tell me how, Jay. Tell me how. I'm looking for your answer.
Went to the water park and got mad he got wet. Like, come on.
It's a public platform. I asked how I fetched you and brought you here and forced you to listen to me. How did I do that? I don't see your answer yet. This is a public forum on a public channel with many other public places for you to go to. You are insinuating that I have taken away your free will and forced you to come here and listen to me. You need to tell me how I did that. You can remove yourself. So I think you need to remove yourself because it looks like you're unhappy being here. Now, what you are exhibiting, though, is what I call a big baby boy. And I tell women to pick adult men, not baby boys. What a baby boy does is he poops in his pants and sits in his poop and cries that he's dirty and uncomfortable and waits for a woman to make him feel better instead of him cleaning the mess he created himself. So Jay is exhibiting classic symptoms of big baby boy symptom because he puts himself in places he doesn't like and then cries as though a woman is supposed to fix his problem.
To bet $100 he's not that big.
Little baby boys with a big poop in his pants? I don't know. I don't get it.
Either way, you're not changing that diaper.
No, we just, ladies, when you meet a big baby boy, never try to fix him. Of course, size matters. Never try to fix him. When he creates his own problem and cries, I want you to walk away. Ladies, hands up in the comment section. Men, hands up in the comment section because there's big baby girls too, right? Hands up in the comment section if you wish you had walked away sooner from a big baby boy or a big baby girl, somebody who makes their own mess and then cries about the mess they created. Do you wish you'd walked away sooner from somebody like that? Yes, Star does. Dr. Jem, yes. Leslie, yes. Ripple, yes. Kitty Cat, yes. Chris, yes. Sean Marie, yes. Gabrielle, yes. Lots of yeses, yeah. RGB, Sin Shops, Heather, surfing. Let's all learn from this. Let's have eyes wide open. Let's look at what they say, look at what they do. And if they appear to be somebody who puts themselves in places they don't like and then cries about the situation, make sure you get rid of them. Make sure you block them. You're looking for an adult at your level, somebody who takes responsibility for their own thoughts, emotions, and behaviors. All right, Jay says you're a pick-me for taking responsibility for yourself, because remember, Jay's a big baby boy, right? And so when he looks at people taking responsibility for themselves, he goes, I'm looking up at somebody being an adult, and I don't like it because it makes me uncomfortable with my childishness. Yes, this is a cult of happiness, because we do take responsibility for our own thoughts, emotions, and behaviors, and our happiness has become very enhanced. And if you want to call that a cult, that's okay. We love this cult of happiness and accountability.
Jay said, I'm a man, not a boy. Are you sure about that? Are you sure about that, bud?
So here's the thing. Jay can call himself whatever he wants, ladies, but you're the ones doing the identifying. Because remember, we don't take what they say at face value. We let them talk. We don't occupy their mouths with their kisses. Because what we're watching out for is guys that are lying about being men. Now, initially, they used to come into our environment and say, trust me, bro, I'm everything you're looking for. Go ahead and kiss me and then find out who I am. But that's not what you're going to do anymore. You're going to say, yeah, that's what you say. Let's see what else happens after this initial meeting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 15 meetings down the road. You might go, oh, there's the slip up. Now he really showed me how he thinks. Good thing I did the whole 3 months, because it took 2.5 for him to show me exactly who he was. That's the moment I block and delete him and get rid of him, because there's a lot of guys that are lying about being men. And this is why it's important for you to use the corporate model. Observation before benefits means you don't give benefits to people you should fire, because they're lying about who they are. So it doesn't matter what they say, they can say anything, right? But observation will show us the truth, and not a short period of observation, long enough scientifically back to minimum 3 months to get to the truth. So this guy says, for real men, body count matter. For real men. TMD, can you answer a question? Can you say yes so I know that you and I are talking? TMD wants to tell us about real men, but I'm wondering if he knows what a real man is. But he went quiet. Thank you, Star. High-fiving in the chat, Krista. Is he trying to make friends with other boys because he doesn't actually like women? We can tell the ones who are PP obsessed. Oh, science, perfect. Leo's going to prove to us that he's not lying. So Leo has to bring the title of the peer-reviewed study, the website the study's on, the page number and paragraph number, because Leo is going to prove to us that there is a science that he has read. So Leo, you can't say anything more now until you provide title of the peer-reviewed study. Website is on page number, paragraph number. If you don't provide that, but you yap, anything else, that tells me that you're a liar when you say the science exists, because you're not showing us where it exists. And I don't teach women to keep liars around them. I teach women to eliminate liars. So I will eliminate you if you cannot prove that you're not lying with your next comment. Title of the peer-reviewed study, website is on, page number, paragraph number.
Thanks for brainwash for wanting bodily autonomy. That's crazy, Tim.
He can think whatever he wants. We are indifferent to the males who are opposed to women's autonomy. Indifference is not an emotion. We don't have any emotion. We don't care what they think. Caring is a feeling. We don't care. We are indifferent. That's why we instantly block and delete them, because there's no reason to think about them.
Is married. She's been with her husband for 20 years.
Look at this. Fabian makes up stories in their head, right? So Fabian took a look at me, didn't bother taking any time to find out who I am, and then accused me of being single. So I want you to note that a false accusation is a sign of an abusive character. An abusive person does this, and then you go to defend yourself, right? An abusive person makes a false accusation, and then you say, no, that's not true. That's not who I am. And you defend yourself. I don't teach you, ladies, to defend yourself against abusers. I teach you to eliminate abusers. It doesn't matter if he's doing this or if he's making a false accusation. You eliminate them. You block and delete them instantly, because under no condition should you be with somebody who makes up a story in their head and then creates a false accusation against you, waiting for you to defend yourself against their false accusation. You don't defend yourself. You say, wow, I didn't realize you were that kind of person. And then you block and delete them. Hands up if you just learned that a false accusation is abuse. Hands up if you just learned that. He does need a bottle and a snack, but we're not going to mommy him. We've decided that we're not mommying these males anymore. We're going to leave them sitting on the floor in their poop. We're going to leave them waiting for the bottle to feed their egos. We're going to leave them waiting for the soother to soothe their imagination. We're going to leave them sitting in their dysfunction, but we're not going to take any responsibility for them anymore. We're simply going to leave them. Block and delete, ladies.
You to come on the internet and share your girlfriend's body count. Please stop doing that. You guys come into our chats and do that shit all the time, and that's weird.
Hi, how you doing today? Good, good. So I just got in here. I'm a bit confused. Would you like to like what's the premise of this live essentially?
So I am a life coach. If you were to Google who is Canada's best dating coach, you will likely see my name. I teach people how to pick the right person for a long-term relationship. I also teach them how to be the right person in a long-term relationship. I've written 11 books on the subject, everywhere from getting over a breakup to selecting the right person to taking responsibility in that relationship for your thoughts, emotions, and behaviors so that you're not being a toxic, dysfunctional person towards your partner. I teach you how to be happier and more fulfilled outside of your relationship so that you bring those emotions into it instead of trying to mine happiness and fulfillment from another human being, when it's something you should be creating inside of yourself first and foremost.
For sure, I agree with that. I agree with all that. And from your understanding of knowledge, would you say you mostly coach men or women? Can I ask that?
85% of my audience is women, about 15% is males.
For sure, okay. And going back to this TikTok live, I don't doubt you're qualified. So can you just explain what is up on screen right now?
Yes. So when I'm teaching people to pick a long-term partner, this is my dating book for women. I teach women to take responsibility for the words coming out of their mouths. They should not be in a relationship and complaining, he's such an asshole, he did that again. He was irresponsible again, inconsistent again, lacked communication again, disrespectful again, dishonest, whatever. I also teach men the same thing. Men should not be in relationships with the wrong people. They should be with somebody who is a good fit for them. A good fit is somebody you're not arguing with, you're not fighting with, because you're not trying to change them, because they are who it is that you are looking for. They match your character, your personality. They're a good fit.
All right, that's great. So when it says body count doesn't matter, this is referring to both genders, I presume?
Everything I say goes both ways. So people who ask, what's your body count, are coming from one of four places, or maybe all of four places. We don't know. It's not our place to find out. But it's coming from control, insecurity, stuck in the past, or PP obsessed. Control is I had to control you before I met you in order to accept you today. So I had a rule for you to follow, like how many people you could sleep with. I'm going to ask you what your body count is to see if you follow my rules. Insecure is when I think about who you were before me, I put myself below them. So the less people you were before me, the less I come in under people. So if you only had 2, I'm worse than 2. But if you had 10, I'm worse than 10. That makes me feel even worse about myself. Stuck in the past is I can't stop thinking about you with other people. Even though you're standing here with me, focusing on me, I'm not thinking about you. I'm thinking about who you were before me, giving myself negative emotions that you are now going to suffer. PP obsessed, we have to acknowledge that some cultures and religions say you're a boy, you're not allowed to like boys, and so you have to pick a woman. But listen, you are who you are despite your religion or culture, and so they'll pick a woman, but they're really interested in other males, and we need to watch out for those, right?
Yeah, everything you said, I 100% agree with that. I'm just gonna play devil's advocate for a second, and my opinion would be that, well, body count doesn't necessarily matter from a controlling or manipulative mindset. It comes from me knowing that if you couldn't have self-control in the past, how am I supposed to feel validated that you're gonna have self-control in the present?
So let me, do you understand the definition of the word assumption?
Assumption? Oh yeah, I understand that.
What is the definition?
Assumption is getting to a conclusion without any prior knowledge, essentially.
Evidence is the word you're looking for, right?
Evidence, yes.
So the definition is a belief without evidence, correct?
Yeah.
So why is it that if I say I have a high body count, you immediately assume it was a lack of control?
I mean, if you do have a high body count, my first thought would be, well, you were in a long-term relationship that you felt comfortable and safe in, and you did what you had to do, and no one's gonna hold that against you. But the issue is, when you do have a high body count, it's like, well, how many of those were genuine? How many of those were lack of self-control? And how many of those did you just do it?
Why would any of them be a lack of self-control? Why would you have an assumption that any of them would be a lack?
At the end of the day, we're all human, and we all have drives, we all have desires.
No. So hold on. You and I are both human beings, correct?
Correct.
Are you a male?
Yep.
Am I a female?
Absolutely.
Is your chemical makeup testosterone?
Yep.
Is my chemical makeup estrogen?
Absolutely.
Do you have a 24/7 fertility drive?
No.
What?
Oh, I do. Sorry.
Yeah, you do.
Mm-hmm.
Do I have a 24/7 fertility drive?
Yeah. No? I'm pretty sure women do.
How old are you?
I'm 26.
Dude, how do you not know basic biology, but you think you're going to speak on women's sexuality?
Excuse me, I was speaking.
No, excuse me.
Can I finish?
Excuse me. You want to be devil's advocate, but you don't understand basic biology.
One second.
Something? I'm going to ask you again.
Wait. Just 1 second.
No. When
Wait,
I'm
wait,
talking,
wait,
you
wait, wait.
don't. When
Just
I'm
one
talking,
second.
you don't. And if you don't understand that, I will remove you. Do women have a 24/7 fertility cycle?
Once a month, yeah.
Do you have a 24/7 day fertility? Every day of the month you're fertile, yes or no?
Yeah.
Is a woman fertile every day of the month?
No.
So does a woman have a 24/7 fertility cycle, yes or no?
No. I
No.
mean, no.
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 So
It's
are
it's
we,
every month,
listen,
but not
hold
every day
on,
of the
stop
month.
talking. If you're not here to learn, I'll get rid of you. So do we operate the same way when it comes to sexuality?
No. What
No,
does
we
that mean?
don't. So you saying us having consensual sex is the same approach as you would. Are you incorrect?
Not necessarily, no. And I would just like to tweak on something you said. You said I was coming after a woman. Everything I'm saying
Say that.
is gender fluid. You did say that. You're like, you want to speak on women, but don't even know our biology, this and that.
I'm done. This guy coming from somebody who didn't understand women's fertility, basic biology, no. Hi, Evans.
Yo,
I just got back from Nick.
you hear me?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Was there something you wanted to say?
Yes, I want to know how is it that history matters and everything else except for body count?
What do you mean? I don't teach women to ask about your history. I teach women to assess who you are. As
Is
men should be assessing.
past.
Dude, you're having troubles. Can you hear me? What did I just say? Can you hear me?
I can
What
hear
did
you. I can hear you. You was about to put the book.
what did I just say?
You didn't complete your sentence.
Oh, you didn't hear what I said. I'll repeat it, and then you can say it back to me so I know you understand. I don't teach women to ask you about your history when she's looking for a long-term relationship. I teach women to examine who you are and then make an informed decision about whether she wants to commit to you. What did I just say?
You inform women. You don't inform women to ask about history. You inform women to ask about who we are now.
Not ask, to observe who you are.
Okay.
Because if I ask you, are you honest? A liar will say they're honest, right?
Correct.
So there's no point asking, are you honest? All I need to do is listen to what you say and then carry on and then see if what you say is actually true, right? That's how I find out if you're honest.
Correct.
Right. Any questions?
So what I'm asking is, if I go get if I'm gonna go get a job and I apply,
Okay, but
my
are
work
we talking
history
about,
matters.
are we doing career coaching?
We're doing life. We're talking about life. We're
I've
talking
got,
about life and
yeah, but
history.
if we're switching gears, I'll pull out my book on career coaching if you're looking for some career coaching.
I'm talking about life. I'm using a career as an example.
Well, how about we stick to the topic? How about as an example in dating and relationships, we use a dating and relationship example.
Okay. I'm trying to figure out why someone's history won't matter.
Why would what you did matter more than who you are?
Because it's an indication of what you will do.
Well, if I want to find out what you will do, shouldn't I just observe what you are doing? And then if you're dishonest, I can see an indication that you will likely be dishonest again. If you are lazy, as I witness it, shouldn't I see an indication that you will lack work ethic going forward because you're lacking it right now? If you're irresponsible and I witness that, isn't that my indication that you will be responsible because I'm witnessing irresponsibility? Shouldn't the indication be what I witness?
Absolutely.
That's my dating strategy, my love. Doesn't that make sense? This is the book for men. This is the book for women.
It does make sense.
Yes, I love logic.
Me too. Me too.
It's so relaxing to the brain, to be honest.
It is. It is. And that's why I just wanted to ask,
Yeah,
to get a better understanding. And it makes sense.
I love understanding. It's on my list. It's what I bring. It's what I bring, therefore what I appreciate.
I love it, Chantel. Thank you for your
Yeah.
time.
My love, anytime, anytime. I gotta feel good. Evan, did you just get to feel good?
Yes, I did. Thank
Me
you.
too. Me too. Me too. Do you know what I call that, my love?
Love.
Do you know what I call this feel good that you and I both had? I call that matriarchy.
Nice.
What do you think?
Beautiful.
What do you think of matriarchy?
I'm with you. I'm with you.
Yes.
I'm with you. Thank you so much, Chantel.
I'm with you, Evan. I'm with you. I teach women. Listen, if he's in guy mode, if he's in selfish
Right.
short-term thinking mode, that's okay. We don't demonize that. When I'm in girl mode, that's who I'm going to play with. And when I'm in
Right.
woman mode, I want to bring all this to a relationship. We have to not leave the men standing on the sidelines saying, what about me? We need to be selecting them.
Right.
I'm
Right.
with you. I'm
Oh
with you.
yeah. You on it. Ooh.
Yes, I am.
Ooh.
Yeah, you got that, didn't you? I love that ship
Yo,
too.
bless you. Bless you. Bless you. For real. For real. Bless you.
You too, my love. Come
Keep
back.
doing what you do.
Yes, I do. I do. Thank you. I appreciate you.
Yes, ma'am. I appreciate you.
Have a wonderful day. And come back and ask me any questions anytime, okay?
Yes, ma'am. I got you.
Awesome. I'm going to do a book walkthrough. I think this is a perfect time to do this. Yay! Hands up in the comment section. Hands up in the comment section if you like matriarchy. Hands up in the comment section if this exchange made you feel good and you are appreciating matriarchy. It was wonderful. Ripple. Lady Mistella, Dr. Ajem, A Real Man, My Sharona, wonderful, Island Beauty. Yes, look at all this. Look at all this. Yes, Sunny, Lori, Krista, Nina. I'm gonna do a quick book walkthrough, my loves. I'm gonna introduce you briefly, very quickly, to each of my books. I have 11 books on dating and relationships. I catch you where you are. Heather, Aiden, love. I catch you where you are. I lift you up from there. Here we go. Comeback Queen, ladies. This is you healing faster from a breakup or divorce. No More Assholes is how you select your next partner using observation before selection. No more mistakes. No More Assholes is also in Spanish, also a workbook. After the first kiss, when you start a brand new relationship, you make it rock solid from day one by avoiding pitfalls and self-sabotage. Fix That Shit is going to help you with advanced communication and conflict resolution, helping you achieve a zero-fight relationship. Super peaceful, super loving, super amazing. And of course, we have Fix That Shit for men. Everything I say goes both ways. Now, you want to help your teens avoid making the same mistakes you did. You want to help them understand how to use data, knowledge and insight, self-accountability, get them dating 101. I wrote this to be a textbook in high school. Thank you, Paolo. There's a free dating book in the link in my bio. Fake love need not apply. How to identify and safely remove posers, losers, scammers, and predators. Men who want to learn my dating strategy, this is your dating book right here, The Perfect Play. I also have freebies in the link in my bio. Free starter guide for singles, free starter guide for couples, free starter guide for males who want to come over here, away from the red pill. I got you. I made a freebie for you. These books are about your mental health, emotional well-being. Say Yes to Goodness, 10 Steps for a Complete Happy You. For the blue chew, coming in. Okay. Then we have Custom Made. This is career coaching, identifying and monetizing your purpose, passion, and talent. The Glow Up Journal is my latest book. This is a focused 60-day journey designed to help you increase your confidence and self-esteem. It is a daily doing and writing exercise book that is going to biohack your brain. These workbooks have bonus material. So the Fix That Shit for Women workbook with bonus material, Fix That Shit for Men workbook, and the No More Assholes workbook. So use the buttons in the link in my bio for your freebies, paperbacks on Amazon, ebook bundle deals, audiobooks. Yeah. All right. Oh, don't forget also I'm going to be live in person on October 25th in Niagara Falls. I still have 18 tickets left. If you guys want to grab your spot, you can also come virtually if you cannot make it to Niagara Falls. Hello. T?
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. First of all, I just wanted to say I really enjoyed your exchange with the young man, Evans, that was just on there. That was great. As a 48-year-old man, I can honestly say it took me a long time to just let a lot of things go and not let some of that stuff that you discuss in some of your lives bother me as I was dating. And I know for me, I just kind of took a long, hard look in the mirror one day and just decided that why would I hold myself to any higher standard, and expect somebody else not to do the same, or even in the case of, I grew up in a house with mostly full of women, so I would hate to see my sisters or anybody being judged for anything such as body count or anything like that. But that was just great. Watching that, because like I said, it took me a bit to figure it out. I have a really quick question though. Are any of your books available on Audible?
No, because
No? Okay.
is an author pimp.
Oh, okay.
So I want to see, because I did invest a lot of money into making my audiobooks, and I would like to see that money come back.
Okay. Oh, okay. I understand. Thank you.
You can get them in the link in my bio, though. I have 2 audiobooks. My 2 audiobooks are No More Assholes and Fix That Shit for Women.
Okay.
And I do narrate them myself.
Okay.
And if you prefer, I need to make more audiobooks, but these are the 2 that I have right now. But because everything I say goes both ways, you can still listen to these books and apply it. Just kind of jimmy the language a little bit for yourself.
Understood. Okay. I appreciate that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
That's all.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye, my love. Yay. Does it take a long time to record the audiobooks? Yeah, it takes because I will complete maybe 3 chapters in an evening when I'm doing my audiobook. Because every sentence needs to be crisp and clear. Every word needs to be enunciated properly. And I did my best. If you guys caught some things, I'm sorry. But if I make a mistake in my enunciation or I have to clear my throat, it interrupts the process, and you have to kind of do a clap and start over. The clap gives your sound spike for your technician to find what needs to be taken out. Thank you, Solid Marketing Strategy. So SOM, Solid Marketing Strategy. I want you to see how good I am at this. Google who is Canada's best dating coach. Take a look at the answer and look at what is missing from what you're seeing. Beside my name, you will not see the words ads or sponsored. I have earned this place. Yeah. Krista, did you want to come talk about the documentary? Sin jobs. What is my opinion on cheaters? Let me rephrase that to a kind of a more common question. Something people would ask is, why do you think people cheat? So I'm going to kind of combine that together. I think people cheat from insecurity. They could cheat because of ego. They're very egotistical. They're very selfish about themselves. I want what I want when I want it, regardless of how it affects other people. A lot of ego and selfishness. Or insecurity. I build myself up by using other people, and I don't care if I'm hurting my partner in my efforts to build myself up. So those are very common reasons for cheating. Sometimes less common reasons would be they're in a very dysfunctional state, and instead of medicating with drugs or alcohol, they're medicating by other people's bodies to try to make themselves feel better. And a very much less common reason, and the only reason I would accept for my husband, is brain tumor. A brain tumor has changed their personality. People getting freebies, always love that. This person says it's women like me that gives birth to red pill culture. You mean it's women like me who teach women autonomy that gave birth to a culture of males that are opposed to autonomy? I will proudly carry that mantle. I will proudly wear the crown of teaching women so much autonomy. It angers controlling dysfunctional males. I will proudly wear that crown. Ladies, hands, men, my audience, hands up if you put the crown on my head. If you yourself put that crown on my head, this is my leader when it comes to angry, toxic, dysfunctional people. So I can see those are the people to not pick because they lack the mental health to be in my environment. Have you crowned me? Have you crowned me the leader, helping you see the people you should be blocking and deleting? In other words, eliminating from your kingdom? Sin shops, yes. Alexandria, yes, you used observation before selection. Exactly what I teach, my love. We need to get the data about who the person is before picking them for a relationship. Who we did before we came to the decision of who we're going to choose does not interfere with the quality of person we are going to choose. But this probably enhanced our vision, helping us recognize toxicity better, selfishness better, irresponsibility better, lack of accountability better. Not one stunt and you make her relevant, right? She knew she would pull a marketing stunt and little boys would continue to market her. I like to live in queendom. Opal. Rains and jobs. Makes what okay? What is it? I never know what you guys are referring to when you use words like it or that. So that makes what okay? Actions in mind. Yes. Not being impulsive. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. When you're looking for a long-term relationship, it should not be an impulsive decision. It should be a thought-out decision based on data, assessing data, ensuring the person is who you're looking for before committing, not committing and hoping they're the person you're looking for. That is a backwards methodology. I call that the lotto ticket methodology. We intelligent women don't play the lotto with our love lives. We make informed decisions for who we're going to choose. Is it bad that I want to keep a friends with benefit? Only if you fall in love with them and then you try to pull them into a long-term relationship. Why aren't you committing to me? I want a committed relationship with you. Why aren't you honest or trustworthy or sharing my goals and values or hardworking or responsible? I want you to be that person because that's who I want to commit to. But you took one of these and then you tried to bring it over here, and now you are the source of your own suffering. So I don't recommend you create your own suffering by repeating a behavior that creates a bonding to somebody that you should not be bonding to because they're not actually who it is that you're looking for. So a hookup should be once, twice, and done. Because if you start repeating the behavior, you are signaling to your brain you've made a mate selection, and now your brain says, go ahead, fall for this person. Oh, we got a -1, ladies. Look at this guy using numbers, right? Look at this guy using numbers. Why does he use numbers? Because he doesn't count. See, 2 people getting in bed is supposed to be 2 big O's, but this guy takes a big O but doesn't give a big O, meaning he's by himself in this encounter. We don't consider people who don't count because they played with themselves. We only count people who participated in the big O. So he's upset that we don't pick males that don't count, it seems. Oh, let's go make some lunch. Let's make some lunch. I have a coaching session at 1 o'clock today, so it's going to be a hard stop after lunch when once I make a lunch for hubby. So Lex, who's from the UK, makes his own TikToks and hosts his own live stream every day. Lex is very busy teaching men how to be men. Teaching guys how to be men, I should say. He's wonderful. I really appreciate what he does and how he does it. So I'm actually doing a podcast with him. Look at Golden here. He's so cute. I'm doing a podcast with him tomorrow. So that'll be fun. Does Lex have a link? He's on TikTok. He's cool. His mods are questionable. Why? Why are his mods questionable? All right, we are having cabbage rolls today. And I'm hungry. Hungry. Awesome. Two Intelligent People podcast. Yes. Juicy? Okay. All right. More? I'm doing this to feel better about myself. So notice how these males who think body count matters just make up stories in their minds. And what they say to you is what I made up in my head is real. And you can't tell me otherwise. And we call that delusion, when you make up a story without any evidence whatsoever, but you believe it wholeheartedly. And there's nothing anybody can say that will change your mind about what you made up. So these are not functional people, ladies. When you meet a male like this, you should be instantly blocking and deleting him, because he will be abusive to you over what he makes up in his head. So you just need to get rid of those people when you meet them. This is how you avoid toxic, abusive, narcissistic males who don't take responsibility for their own thoughts, emotions, and behaviors, right? What does it mean? What's the math on no accountability for his own thoughts, emotions, and behaviors? The math equals toxic abuse. So get rid of these toxic, abusive males. Don't entertain them. Just block and delete them. Everybody go look at SOM for the block and delete. Watch this. Block, delete, cleanse, remove. That's what you do, okay? You get rid of them by blocking and deleting them. Okay, everybody see Twitch? Everybody see Twitch for the block and delete? There's the block, delete, cleanse, remove. There's no conversations to be had, just the block and delete. It's not your place to try to change their mind, right? We don't care who it matters to, we just don't pick those people. So the people who think body count matters, we go, noted, not for me, we just remove them, that's it. You need celibate type shit. Everybody look at Honey for the block and delete. Block, delete. They can do whatever they want with themselves, but when they try to tell other women what to do with their own bodies, you just remove them. Block and delete, cleanse, remove, right? Remove from your environment, remove from your sight. Out of sight, out of mind. Now you're focusing on your goals, your health, your well-being, your responsibility, the financial empire that you build for yourself, because nobody's distracting you from your ambitions with their dysfunction. They're rude and very negative, right? You didn't write rude and negative on your list of what you're looking for. So what do we do now, ladies? We remove at the first sign of their dysfunction, at the first sign that they're not what you want. You don't have to stay, explain, attempt to change. You say, oh, noted, removal. Removal. It's a waste of time for you to try to change them into who you want them to be. You just remove the one who isn't, leaving the space open for the one who is fully formed, the person you want to be. Not somebody who needs to make modifications to get to your level of what it is you're bringing to the table. Women are no longer trainers. We're no longer teachers. We're no longer mommies. We are adults looking for adults. Right, ladies? There is nothing I need to tell my husband to do, because my husband is an adult taking responsibility for his responsibilities. Ladies, if you have to teach him, train him, coax him, remind him, just get rid of him. Stop wasting your time mommying a grown male, okay? And if they're tired of being rejected, they can go to other males like Lex, who were busy teaching them how to be the kind of male that will be accepted and not rejected. But it's not your job. Your job is to select the male that is at your level, not try to pick somebody below you and hope he'll come to your level. Your opinions are irrelevant. Your opinion does not sway my autonomy, but your opinion has me blocking you because I am indifferent to the opinion you hold. Miss Amy's empanada seems to have a lot of cheese in it. Takes away value from a woman. Okay, so this male here has indicated that he's a -1, right? Because a male that's worth less than 0 says males reduce women's value, right? He reduces women's value. He identifies as a worthless male because 1 plus 0 is still 1. So if I was a 1 out of 10 and he was a 0 male, he wouldn't reduce my value, but he's so low value, he's worth less than 0. So he's letting us know, ladies, that we should eliminate him because he's a worthless male. He's worth less than 0.
Hey,
Hi.
sir, I 100% agree with the point on the screen. I just wanted to say a really friendly word to the comments that keep talking about cheating. There's a fundamental difference between having different monogamous relationships at different periods of time versus being unfaithful to a partner. There is a fundamental difference. And if you think otherwise, you have the emotional maturity and the intelligence, the IQ of an embryonic stem cell.
Right. But they want us to be as unintelligent as them so that they feel that they're worthy of us. Unfortunately, we are much more intelligent than they are. And when we identify one of these males that make up stories in their head, like a high body count means you're more likely to cheat, we can just as easily say a low body count means you're more likely to cheat because you've been so rejected. The moment somebody says yes, even if you're in a committed relationship, you'll take them up on it because you're looking for validation and acceptance and you haven't received much of it.
100%. And yet these men don't want to talk about the body counts of other men because they want to be the ones that teach these wide-eyed, innocent virgins about the ins and outs of a sexual relationship. Well, no, so who are you losing your virginity to, per se? Other men? But no, that's gay. That's gay. You're walking juxtaposition.
Lovely, can we calm down a little bit?
Oh yeah, sorry, TikTok guidelines. I will turn it down a few notches.
Okay. Yeah. So we don't have to dive into their mindset. We don't have to ask them why they're that way. We don't need to even point out their hypocrisy. Our job as a female is to identify, and at the first sign of their toxicity, dysfunction, lack of accountability, we just go block. Not even a conversation, not a word said. You take your phone, you go block, delete.
100%. 100%. I agree. But it is just funny to see these men just embarrass themselves online.
So just so you know, that's never a man. That's always a guy. Men are never like this, but the guys that are toxic and dysfunctional will be like that. So I like to use the two different words because men truly are amazing. We have plenty of men here actually right now that are not being toxic. And in fact, they're standing up for us. So we need to recognize those good men, and we need to watch out for the guys that are lying about being men by saying, hey, before we kiss and have sex, before I commit to you, I need to do an identification. And it takes at least 3 months for me to be able to identify if you're a guy or a man.
Oh yeah, I understand what you mean because like 99% of these people saying this obviously aren't intelligent enough to be an adult male.
And that's up to us as women to choose who's going to be in our environment and to eliminate the ones who don't belong because they're not going to be good for us.
Wait, sorry, can you share that book again? I actually want to see that. Hang on, I'm gonna screenshot this.
Yeah.
I might actually buy it because it seems really interesting.
So
Yeah,
this is a dating strategy that helps you maintain your mental health, emotional well-being, and physical safety, while at the same time ensuring the person you commit to is somebody you're not going to fight or argue with because you don't need to change them in any way, shape, or form because they come prepared at your level.
Oh wait, sorry, is this like a book you wrote?
I did.
Oh wow! Wait, that's actually so cool.
You want to do
Yeah,
something even cooler? You want to see something even cooler? Google who is Canada's best dating coach.
Wait, who's Canada's best dating coach? Sorry, I didn't hear you.
Google who is Canada's best dating coach.
Google who? I've actually never heard of that, if I'm honest.
If you go to Google, have you ever Googled anything? Have gone to Google and typed in a question?
Oh, is that what Google who is? Just
No,
like
you know Google. Have you heard of Google?
yeah, I know Google. Sorry.
And you know Google is a search engine.
Yeah.
So type who is Canada's best dating coach.
Oh wait, hang on. Let me do that right now. Oh my gosh! No, girl, make that bag, make that money. Wait, that's actually crazy.
So I'm going to do a quick book walkthrough and then I'm going to head out, my love. But I'm live Monday to Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern time for minimum 2 hours. Come back anytime and ask me questions anytime.
Of course. Wait, I'm gonna buy your book. I'm gonna buy. Do you ship to the UK?
100%. Your Amazon, amazon.co.uk.
Oh yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
okay, I'll get it. That's so cool. I'm so girl. You've made it far. Like top Google's. That's crazy. Anyway, have a nice day. Hopefully you don't get any like trolls in this panel. I've seen like
I get plenty, but I know how to deal with them.
Oh yeah, 100%. Anyway, have a nice day.
You
I'll
too.
probably see you around.
Okay. I'll see you soon.
Bye, Julian.
Okay, lovely.
Chantal,
Ripple.
I was just saying bye. Love you. Good to see you today.
Bye. I'll see you soon, my love. All right, lovely. So you can get my books on Amazon. I've got ebook bundle deals, audiobooks as well. All the buttons you want are in the link in my bio. I'm going to do a quick book walkthrough. You can see which books are right for you. So Comeback Queen helps the ladies heal faster from a breakup or divorce. No More Assholes is how ladies are selecting their next partner, making sure the people they choose are not people they complain about. No More Assholes is also in Spanish. Men who want to heal faster from a past breakup and select the right long-term partner, your dating book is the perfect play. Then you dive into After the First Kiss, make your brand new relationship rock solid by avoiding pitfalls and self-sabotage. Fix That Shit is going to help you achieve a zero-fight relationship by teaching you communication skills, conflict resolution skills, how to take responsibility for your own thoughts, emotions, and behaviors. We have Fix That Shit for men and Fix That Shit for women. Those of you who have teens or no teens, please get them Dating 101. I wrote this to be a textbook in high schools. This is going to help them avoid making the same mistakes you did, because we're going to teach them what you should have learned. There's a free dating book in the link in my bio. It's Fake Love Need Not Apply, How to Identify and Remove Posers, Losers, Scammers, and Predators. The Glow Up Journal is designed for people who want to increase their self-esteem at an expedited pace. This is a 60-day journal journey of writing and doing on a daily basis to hack your brain and change you at a faster rate. Custom-made career coaching. We're going to help you identify and monetize your purpose, passion, and talent. Say Yes to Goodness, 10 Steps for a Complete Happy You, helps you enhance your happiness in 10 key areas of your life affecting you mentally and emotionally. These workbooks have bonus material. You can get these on Amazon as well. There's the Fix That Shit for Women workbook, the Fix That Shit for Men workbook, and we also have the No More Assholes workbook. So use the buttons in the link in my bio to get your paperbacks, ebook bundle deals, audiobooks. There's a documentary being made about me. The filmmaker is here in the comment section. Surfing Stagehand. She might invite you to join the mailing list for Evolution Revolution, which is the name of the film being made about me. You can come see me in Niagara Falls on October 25th in person. This is a all-day event from 10 a.m. until 10 p.m. I'm selling 50 seats. We are down to 18 left. So come and see me in Niagara Falls for an incredible experience. And if you can't make it in person, you can buy a virtual ticket and we will bring you along on this journey as well. Take a look at the button for Evolution Revolution film for Niagara Falls. Everything you want, freebies, free start to get for singles, couples, free book. I got most of her books. I love this. I love this. It is overlooking the falls. It is absolutely beautiful. This person told us he's a key. That means he's got a micropeen. We know how big a key is, ladies. So he's letting us know he's got nothing in his pants that's going to satisfy us. He's also letting us know he's low value because I replaced one of these with about $2. He's also letting us know he's garbage without a woman, because when you find a key but it doesn't fit any locks, you throw it out, don't you? So don't pick any males who tell you straight to your face that they are garbage and low value, all right? I love you. Any new books, Lily? I've got a new one coming out for October called Evolution Revolution. This is going to be our manifesto. I love you. I will see you soon, my loves. I have to head out, go feed my husband, have some lunch, and then I have some coaching sessions today. So I will see you soon, my loves. As always, I love you. I appreciate you. My Sharona, come back. Voodoo, come back. Ripple, Stagehand, Krista, Bruno, Raising Hell, Wendy, Island Beauty, Latifa, Kissy Facey, Aiden, Kay, Lachelle, Lady Mistella, Caroline, Bop, Zombified Hero, Devin, Robert. Love seeing the men in here. Stars, Sin Shops, Shams, Lev, Narola, Spaghetti, hello, welcome, my love, Abby, Lizzie, Aria, Iris, Meltzer, Slim Shay, Tund, Natalia, Ascendant, Rupert's Ma, welcome, sir. Hey, Jay, Marty, always love seeing the men hanging out, being with us. Love, 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 love this. I will see you soon. See you soon, my loves.